Welcome, 239 family, to another exciting edition of Thursday Throwdown. As always, one of your hosts, XD Ally here. I'm excited, man. Season 3 was a friggin' success. So awesome. It was literally amazing. Ran to perfection. Shout out to admins, players, captains, everybody who made it possible. Had a phenomenal season, and we finally have a champ. But before we get to that, let me introduce everybody that I have with me today. We got a special guest today, which is always exciting. And I want to say this, if you guys ever want to be on the Thursday Throwdown, message myself, Pale, and or Agent. We will make it happen, guys. This is, yes, you see our ugly mugs every week, but if you want to be a part of it, feel free to let us know. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my co-host, Pale. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. I won the cup. I can't be even happier. I had a good season. I got a good finals run in there, and I'm doing fucking excellent. Let's throw it on back to Agent. How are you doing over there?
Still a little emo. No, I'm good, man. It was a good series. I had fun, and you guys had an awesome series. I will introduce our special guest here. Got a Ability joining us on the crew here today.
What's going on, guys? I too am a little bit butthurt over the way that all panned out. As you can see, first he takes us out, the Halifax, and then he moves on and just wipes the league. So graciously enough, I made this for you guys. You earned it.
Hell yeah.
And you know that's being a gracious loser, as Ability said before. Man, that's what this league's about. So shout out to Ability. Welcome to the show, man. We're happy to have you. Let's break that series down a little bit. You know, I'll be honest, being terrible media, I did not catch any of the series. But from what I heard, I know I see you shaking your head, but from what I heard, man, first couple games were really up in the air, toss-ups pretty close. And then it seemed like Hanshot first really started to, kind of hit their wave. Pale, kind of describe this series, like how it played out. What happened game one, and what adjustments did you guys make, moving forward?
Yeah, game one, we've started up slow every series. Losing the first game or coming close to losing the first game, pretty much the whole season. And game one really wasn't any different. We went in, we ran a couple of practice games before that game, and just came out flat, which has been our problem all year, really. I think we were down 6-2 going into the second period, and just didn't come out strong game one. Ended up losing 8-5. Brick City kind of turned it on at the end of the third period. He ended up getting a hat trick in the third. We kind of changed things up a little bit. The whole second period, we were kind of tossing stuff into the center, trying to, break through that trap that they had with passes, and it just wasn't happening. The guys got together, and we were like, look, let's try and just carry it against these guys. Nobody's really playing a hard hitter. They can't really catch us in the slot with our head down or anything like that. So let's see if we can just sneak our way in. And really, that was the strategy for the whole rest of the series. Game two, we came out, we kind of did the same thing. Our defensive game wasn't really up to par yet either. Battled back and forth. The goals were it was like 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, 4-4. It was crazy. But then we ended up pulling it out. We got 5-4 win in game two. And then games 3 and 4, we outscored them 14-1. Went into game 5 confident, and we had a good time. They gave us a run for our money in game 5. It wasn't an easy game, but we were able to pull it out in the last couple of minutes, and that's pretty much how it went.
Well, I'll move it to Asian because, game one, you got and put them on their heels, and took them some time to get going. You know, how was the locker room, you know, after going down? Like, what adjustments are you guys talking about making? Were you just like, you know what, it worked game 1, we're going to try and do our thing? You know, obviously game 3 and 4 was a bit lopsided, but were you guys talking adjustments, or were you just trying to play your game?
I mean, honestly, we didn't change a whole lot until Tuesday night. We stuck with the same plan. I mean, obviously it worked really well the first game. They made an adjustment going into game 2. Basically, anybody that had the puck held it on their fucking offside the whole time and just skated it, and it worked. I mean, they did the right thing. And we kept that one close, so we figured the other next couple games would be the same. Well, they figured out how to score, and that's what it took. He made the earlier adjustment. Going into Tuesday night, we made a little adjustment. I switched to a hitting sniper, thinking that might be a little bit knock him off, because that's all they did all Sunday night. But it obviously helped a little bit. But again, that might have been the whole first game of the night type of thing. Way it goes. You know, they played super well. I got to give my hat off to them. For sure. I can't argue they played really well, and they deserve the cup for sure.
Well, I mean, shout out to you and your guys, man. I mean, like, you know, again, from being where you were a couple weeks ago to making it to the finals, you're not even knowing if you're really going to make the playoffs. It's kind of a big thing. Billy, I'm going to send it to you because you guys got to play Honshot first in a 7-game series. And I mean, those are tough. And, again, you kind of got a real good glimpse. Are you surprised by the outcome? Did you think, you know, that Gonna Send It was going to have a chance? And don't be nice because both guys are on the show, but what did you really believe was going to happen in that series?
Well, being the goaltender for a team, I thought that I could stop this magnificent trio you guys had up front. But then I started jumping into some numbers, right? I got a little curious when it was all said and done. Like, was there a reason why I couldn't stop the mayhem? And there was. I looked at my team, and, you know, my 3 forwards combined for 144 points, 70 assists. Your forwards combined for 235 points and 124 assists. That was on the season. I should have looked at that before the playoffs, but there was nothing you could do. I mean, those guys played great. We battled them as tough as we could, and you better believe I was sliding all over the crease just trying to stop everything they were throwing at me. It was tough, man. Well earned.
And, you know, those 7-game series, too, it becomes this – I don't want to say like controller grip, but you get to these points where it's like, okay, we are playing a game and it's an EA game, and you just grab it a little tighter in a 7-game series because the last thing that you want is for that game to be decided by something ridiculous.
You say that, and I just have one comment. It's funny. In our final game on Tuesday night, the goal that puts Honshot first up, it never affected us all season, but I just pick on DJ a little bit. He's just going to slap it out of his zone, you know, kind of reset. Fucking stick breaks in our own zone. They get a breakaway on that. You know, it's kind of a shitty thing. It happens. You know, you can't do anything about it, and you can't hold it against him. He's just trying to do the thing that he thought was right at the time, and it's just an EA thing. I mean, it was.
It's like a perfect, like, testament to, like, what I'm saying is like, you get into these games, and the last thing that you want is for a series to be decided or a game to be decided like that. So, you know, I know we got you guys last week, but shout out to the Harpoons, man. You guys had a great season as well. Ability, first-time goalie. I mean, man, this rookie class, and I know I didn't really talk about this in the pre-show, but this rookie class was phenomenal this year. I mean, it was so hard for us to really – you know, when we were doing the nominations for awards and stuff. I mean, you had guys like Ability and Tomahawk, and these are goalies, man. Like, okay, mad respect to anybody who plays goalie because, like, that's a shit. I can't even do it. So shout out to all the goalies in the league. But you have Ability, you have Tomahawk, lefty golfer. I don't know his other gamer tag. I know him as lefty. Then you got Brick and Figo. I mean, it's kind of a testament to what we're doing here. We're getting new players every season, and the league is growing, and you're getting all these great players. So I just wanted to touch on that because, man, incredible rookie class all around. I mean, it was just phenomenal. So amazing. But Pale, fuck, man, congratulations to you and your guys. I got a firsthand glimpse the other night into what a party of Honshot first is like, and it was absolutely ridiculous.
It was bananas all season.
That was a fun night, though. You lost more games that night than you had all year. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was a bit rough, but yeah, man, you know, so again, shout out to you guys. So season 3's in the books, man. Case closed, done. Phenomenal job to everybody involved. And you know how we do it here, man. This is what makes us great. One of the many things, season 4 is like, boom, right away. First thing, signups are closing on the 18th?
18th, Sunday.
June 18th. Yeah. Guys, listen to me. Do not wait. Do not wait. Do not wait till the last minute and say, oh, blah, blah, blah. My butt plug was up too high and I fucking missed. I couldn't do that. Sign up now. Just do it now. Be done. If you have to change something, message me. I'm available for the most part. Gmail me, Gmail Hugh, Gmail DJ. Always on. Yeah. So sign up. Get your name in there. If you have to change something later, perfect. But get your name in, because after that cutoff, after that deadline, I don't, even if you've been here for 900 years, man, that's what it is. Secondly,
Brick City, sign up.
Yeah, Bricks, he doesn't even want to try and read.
He's hanging out in the chat all day, but he's not signing up.
He's going to sign up. He's going to sign up. He's got nothing to do. He's going to sign up.
Nothing to do at all.
So he's going to sign up. So we got that. Also, Hugh Laurie touched on this in the original post. I touched on it in chat today. Guys, full-time waivers. That's fine. I understand your schedule's busy. It's summer season. Expect this stuff to happen. But the way that we have it set up, undrafted players are always going to have the precedent. Always. So with that being said, if you can at least commit to one night a week, I highly, highly, highly recommend signing up part-time so that you don't get lost in the shuffle. You don't get ghosted for a whole summer season. Like, please sign up part-time if you think you can. Now, I talked to Phoenix earlier. He says, I don't even know if I can. Okay, cool. Full-time waiver. If you're on and you're needed, great. You get some games in. But, again, with your schedule and that's understanding. But if people are like fence, like, oh, I don't know. Remember, undrafted players are always going to have precedent. And then after that, full-time waivers will be asked to play and different things like that. So please, 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 if you can commit to one night, make sure you sign up part-time so you don't get lost in the shuffle. I'll take this time, too, to say, guys, tell your friends. There's not a lot of leagues that are playing right now. We're one of the very few that is doing a summer season. So anybody who's maybe hesitated about joining or trying to play, get them out here and let them know what we do here and how much fun we have. And, it's going to be a good season. We got a pretty good captains list. So
I enjoyed my first season in the league. I got to tell you, I was a little bit skeptical jumping in here with all you guys because I looked at the forums. I saw a little bit of the banter going back and forth amongst the players, and I scratched my head. I was like, I'm not sure about this one. We're going to get in some trouble.
It is, and we've talked about it in the past. I mean, if you guys like these sober elitist show, they talk about it a lot. But I don't think anything here is too overbearing. A lot of the guys have known each other for a while, so you see some of that banter, which can be a bit more like malicious. I don't know. Yeah. But ability, I remember a post that you had made earlier in the year and was saying like, you can't have it both ways. It was, the LBs, because Agent's team was like fucking on or something. Yeah, so I remember it was with the LBs, and that's kind of a good point. It's like you can't have it one way or the other. We are different, man. It's different here. It's a whole nother breed, an anomaly, dare I say. So, but yeah, man, we're happy to have you, and we're happy. I had talked to him earlier. He said the only way he'd sign up is if we'd let him on the show. So at that point, I was like, dude, you're in. Like, you got to come on.
There you go.
On the show. So
hey, I just wanted to make the party. I just wanted to make the party start. And I got to tell you too, even if there is a little bit of banter in the forums that might scare some people off, once you meet the guys, man, all these guys are great. All you guys are great. I mean, I had a blast in it. My team was super cool. I mean, D-Mart, Marty McFly, Dank. Yeah, I mean, everybody.
It's nice, man. Your first season, you get to play with the Martin brothers. I don't think you know how
lucky can you get?
Well, I mean, not even lucky. Forget lucky. I'm talking about the rarity. Those guys never get on the same team because usually either one's like captaining and like D-Mart always goes first. So if Marty's gonna get the first pick, whatever, and then vice versa, Marty's the top 5. That's like such a rare thing. I've been playing with those guys forever. That's the first time I recall it happening in probably 4 years. So that's crazy. And you guys made a really good run and almost made it to the finals. And I'm not.
It was fun, man. There was just one little thing holding us back. But, D-Mart and me, we've had some conversations about it. That'll get fixed one day. There might be a return. We might have Halifax Harpoons 10. You never know.
I've talked to him about that. And Pale, I swear to God, I swear to God, if you do fucking Han Shot first version, not 2, I'm coming to your house and I'm beating you up because we don't need that. New names, please.
I hear you.
And
All right.
Cameron, you're captaining for the 4th time, and I love you sexually, but if you are Fear the Wolf 4, same thing. Shitting on your doorstep. Done. End of it. Over.
Don't shit in my house.
Okay, fine. Not in the house. Not in the house, on the doorstep. Or maybe in the back of your car, whatever. So, with that said, I'm going to move on. I'm going to pull it up really quick. Captain's list for this year, man. We released that on Wednesday, I believe. Yesterday or Tuesday. Again, everything happens so fast here. I'm excited, man. This captain's list is the first year that we've done this format. What do you guys think about how we did it? We made it an option on there. Would you be willing to captain? Do you guys kind of like that? And then from there, the admins, we all get together. We kind of look at everything and we say, okay, what's going to make for the most competitive season, out here for 239? Do you guys kind of like that addition, or do you like how we had done it in the past?
Nah, I loved it. I mean, first off, compared to last season when you had all these captains not wanting to be captains and pretty much being shoved into it, guys like Sober, Yambag, kind of McGilla. I think he wanted to do it, but was kind of on the fence. But yeah, these guys are really weren't into it, being shoved into it. And I think this season, with the way the signups worked, it just opened it up to everybody, and you had a bigger response, and that's to be expected, I guess. So I think there was 20, 25 people that signed up that wanted to be a captain. That's over a quarter of the league. So yeah, shout out to the guys that volunteered to do it, and there's a lot of first-time guys on that list right now. I think we've got enough teams for 7 people right now, and the only returning captains are me and Cameron and Shock. So that's pretty cool.
Well, what do you think? New to the league, last year's your first season. You're coming into this. Do you kind of like how that is, where it's oh, okay, these are the guys willing to captain, but you don't know the captains till a little bit later on? Do you kind of like how that was done?
I do like how that was done. I got to say that I was never going to check that box that said I wanted to be a captain. I'm not going to do it. You said it a lot. There's things that go with it. It's not as difficult as you think. And I've heard all that jazz. And hey, I love the people who bought into it. Being a captain's tough. It takes a lot of work. I've seen a couple of the new names on this captain list, and it's scary. I don't like the idea of Tomahawk being a captain. I personally don't. Why? Because he's really good at goalie, which means he's going to draft the team basically like Pale did. And boy, that's just another epic chance for me to get pooped on all over the place, Dank Love got a captain spot on here. He's great. He's a great forward. I don't know if he got as much props as he should have this season, but I played with the kid, and he's great. There's other names on there, too. I'm a little bit hurt that McSwagger didn't get on there. I was rooting for Max Drama this season.
Ability's been on the show for 5 minutes, and he's already made a McSwagger reference, and that's why we love him. And McSwagger is literally absolutely eating this shit up. I even threw him in my top 10 mock, which we'll talk about later. His E-peen is probably fucking poking the bottom of his elbow right now. There's so much excitement going on. Okay, so, but yeah, no, and Agent, again, you captained last year. You got a lot of stuff going on with work. Do you like how we did it, though, this year?
I do. I honestly, I would recommend it. It is extra work, yeah, but I would recommend it to anybody. I played one season in captain right away, just like Dale did. Actually, we played together, and it's a good way to get to know a lot more people. Yeah, you're on one team, and you get to know those 4 or 5, 6 guys maybe, and that's it. Otherwise, you don't really get to interact much unless you're on the chat every day or whatever. Being a captain, I got to meet 5 times the people that I did the first season, So it's a good way to branch out a little bit, get to know more people. And even if you don't ever want to do it again, I'm not doing it this season. I just got a lot of stuff going on. But even if you don't want to do it again, it's a good way for people to get to know you, easier way to get drafted. Everybody gets to see how you play and pays a little attention. It's a good time. I enjoyed it, and it's really not that much work. People blow it out of proportion more than it is. I got lucky. DJ did half of my stats and stuff for me the last 3-4 series, so that was pretty luxurious for me.
Yeah, again, for me, I put my name back out there, man. I love captaining first and foremost. So I love being in the draft too. But I just love the idea of every season drafting a new team and getting you guys in and playing with new guys. I just personally, I love it. And I like the competitiveness of it. And draft day is literally my favorite thing in the world. Always has been, always will be. It's coming up. And I got an announcement for next week. But let's go over some of the names, man. Defending champ, Pale Boner. Yay, let's fucking jerk them off. Yay, you're awesome. All over our face.
I wanted redemption against them, but it just don't work. When a new game comes out, it's coming.
That's okay. That's
All
okay.
right.
And NHL season 5 is going to be amazing, but we got to get through 4 first. Sorry, I'm like way ahead.
Everybody's gunning for you now, Pale. You're in trouble, bro.
Hey, I'll take it all day.
He loves it. But, Ability made a really good point, and I remember saying this in previous shows with a previous colleague. Goalies who captain have the ultimate advantage.
Yep.
And I said it earlier, goalie is the hardest position. If you think otherwise, you are fucked. Because goalie is so ridiculous in this game. It is so hard, and there's so many variables, and there's so much that you cannot account for. If you think that any other position is now, with that said, a goalie like Tomahawk, who I actually got to play with for the first time the other night when we were shit-kicking Pale all night, he was phenomenal. Awesome. And I'm telling you right now, he's got a year in the league. He's knows the talent in the league. I think, like Ability said, that scares the shit out of me, especially being a captain, because I think he's going to have a really, really good draft. So Ability there. Dank Love, he touched on that too. There's E-strokes going everywhere. I'm Not Your Dad USMC, a.k.a. Gunny, finally coming back to captaining. Love that guy more than anything. He is amazing. Esoteric, he's a fucking plug, but he's captaining.
The plug.
Yeah, the ultimate plug. And he's literally got like some vanilla pudding pops shit on my whatever team name. So there's that. You don't know. Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of him and the way that he plays. Shock coming back for his 4th time, the only captain to captain every single season from the inauguration season to right now. Shout out to freaking Shock, man.
Is it Shock's year winning or what?
Every year I think he has a good draft. For the most part, every year I think he does, except for legitimately shit on him. I don't know if it is this or last. But he knows his stuff. He always competes, and I think he's come a long way as a player. So I like that. Hugh Laurie 88 is back. And he wants the captain, by the way. By the way, this is not like, oh, I have to cap. He wants the captain. So there's that. Myself and Cosmic Fade, the young gun, getting a chance to potentially go. I think his success last year played a lot to do with that. I think he showed a certain sort of maturity. So I'm a fan with him captaining. If we don't get enough signups, Fade would drop. If we don't have enough signups for 9, I would drop. And down the list, I think my goal is to hit 10. I think we're going to hit 10. I really do. So as of now, this is what we got. I'll send it over to Agent because I see him on mute, so he has to unmute now. Who do you think is the captain that could surprise this year, and who do you think could struggle this year?
Ooh. I mean, my honest hopes is that Pale struggles after this season. Yeah. I just got to throw it out there. Who wants a repeat champ? I mean, come on. But he has already blew Tomahawk, so I can't pick him out. I think Esso is going to have a good year. Honestly, I think he.
Oh, God. Why did you say that?
Because I like him. He's a good dude, and he gets along with everybody. He shouldn't have any issues on his squad. No email going on, because I've never seen him argue with a person, I don't think. The dude's a good dude, and he knows plenty of people in the league. He should be able to pick a good team and finish up high. I don't know how I'll finish. Just see how the draft works. I mean, hard to pick somebody without seeing his team. He could fuck it up pretty bad.
Well, Ability, what do you think? I know you said Tomahawk, man, and you said Dank, and I know you played with Dank last year. Do you think Dank, from what you've seen, I know there was a little scuffle with Marty McFly as well. Do you think there's a certain maturity level that he showed that's going to make him a good leader and a good captain?
Oh man, I don't even want to talk about that.
What happened in that whole scuffle?
All right, so I'll tell you what happened. Some words were exchanged in the heat of battle. It was more like a mentor instructing their apprentice, and the reaction on Dank's part was fantastic. I loved it, but I didn't realize it was serious at the time. It was kind of serious. So I mean, Yes, there is a certain maturity that's required to take on the role of captain and be successful at it. I mean, that's simple. Everyone knows that. But I don't know, man. I got faith in the kid, and it's mainly because of the way he plays. If he's captaining the team and he gets to make some of the instruction there, I mean, it could be solid, but it depends on who he picks, too. I mean, I was looking at this this draft board over here for the captains. I mean, I expect Cosmic Fade to probably have the team this year. I don't know why necessarily, other than the fact that he put up 42 goals last season, and he's already, I mean, a prime player.
Hey,
And then I picked Daly to have the worst season, and that's mainly because I got to watch him draft Legion's team, and that was not so hot, buddy.
Too true.
Oh my God. Okay. Can I say something? I am never going to live season 3 down. Like, season 3 is always going to be the season where I never fucking showed up. I drafted a shitty fucking team. I like Big Dick. Like, it's going to be this whole, like, fucking thing. Like, season 3 is, like, going to be, like, the year that I'm remembered as being.
That's what happens when your team misses the playoffs because of you, so.
Anyways. All right. I'm done. I am done. And Legion still won't talk to me, by the way. Completely confirmed.
I've never even seen him play NHL since that last series.
Man, no, I tried talking to him today in chat. He just, like, he didn't even know me. Oh, hey, Esso. Oh, hey, Agent. Oh, hey, la, 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 la. Who are you? That's kind of how that conversation went. So I think Pale was in there for that. He just literally hates me. So so that's the thing. But yeah, no, I figured you were already going to pick me to be the worst because you know, but it didn't happen that way. I'm excited if he gets the captain at Cosmic Fade. He's obviously a great player. I don't think Agent, you know that firsthand. I've seen him play as well, and there's so much potential there. I think he's a great player. I would love to see him captain. I would love to see how he handles. I know he's young. I would love to see how he handles adults. A lot of older guys on to Fade, and how and if he can be a leader. So I'm excited to see that. Who do I think is going to have a bad year? I'm going to go the other way on you guys. I'm going to say fuck. This is totally going to contradict everything that I said, so I can't do it. I'll say I'm gonna say Gunny, and here's why. I love Gunny. I think he's a great guy. Great. He just hasn't done it in so long. Now, there's guys who haven't done it at all. I understand that. But Gunny's been kind of showing up and just sort of playing and doing the thing. He's been on some bad teams, but again, I'll say that he could have a bad year, but he could take a lot of the things that he's seen being on bad teams and maybe he can turn it around. I'm just picking Gunny because I have to pick a guy. I guess that question is pretty tough without having seen the draft and stuff. But, you know, shout out to Gunny, man. He knows I love him. I bust his balls, but he knows I love him. So, again, yeah, that's a good captain's list, man. I'm excited. I hope I get to captain. You know, there's Pale. Pale kind of inspired me to come back and captain. I did say I love captaining, but I want a shot, man. I gotta, you know, you won, so now you got. I want to come in. I want to just see what I can do. So it's whatever, but it'll be an exciting year, man. And I'm looking forward to it. So, moving along, I did as I always do. Some rhetoric. That's what Yambag says. It's not even real. But I put up a couple posts. We did a player profile and mock draft, whatever you want to say. I didn't really do it that way. I kind of gave player position or player numbers in the order that I would draft them, different things like that. Take it how you will. But I guess we can talk about that for a little bit, touch on some of the things. And let's look no further than the guy that I picked first. Ability, you got to play with this guy last year. I've been playing with this guy since NHL 09. Call it a bromance, call it what you want. That's Daniel Martin. He is literally, hands down in my opinion, the number one pick of the draft in this draft pool as it's signed up right now. He plays one position, that's right wing, but man, oh man, can he change the game from over there. What do you guys think? Is Daniel Martin, DMart 15, your number one pick in the draft? I'm going to go with you, Pale. What do you think? You've seen him play. You saw him for 7 games. Is he your number one pick in the pool right now?
Yeah, DMart's obviously a great player, and he's obviously somebody that can change a game. He's clearly one of the top picks in the draft. As the pool stands right now, I don't know how you can deny Stealth Luka D. The guy plays center. He plays a great two-way game. He's one of the better playmakers in the league, so he's gonna be setting up guys nonstop. He's gonna elevate his line mates. Not that DeMart can't as well, but I think if when it comes down to it positionally, Stealth Luca's taking the face-offs. He's playing a defensive game. He's just doing everything on the ice. As the draft pool stands right now, I think Stealth Luke is probably the number one pick in my book. No slight to DMart, but I think that's just the way that positionally it works out. What do you think, Agent?
I got two things to toss out here. We got some active members here in the chat. One being Easy Mac 416 McSwagger. Tossing out, does not think Tomahawk is going to have a good year. Reason being, he's too sensitive and thinks he's better than he is. What's comments on that? Gonna leave it at that.
Well, I mean, it's a swagger comment.
Right.
It's
They're
weird.
in the pot as usual.
I mean, I heard him on the Elita show, and I thought like corners had been turned, but it's McSwagger. So like, I don't know. I guess I don't know. It'd be funny if Tomahawk drafted him now. That'd be hilarious.
Also, Dom Silva was saying something about you sucking dick for bus money, and then you end up walking home. Is that true, Dales?
Jesus Christ. I don't think I've ever done that before.
So let's get back on topic. No, serious talk. DMart was my top pick before you made that chart up, your analysis. He was my number one pick. Playing with him, he wins the award. The dude's a nice dude. He's awesome. He's easy to get along with. I mean, he knows the game. He's willing to help too. I mean, if he knows somebody's out of position, he'll let you know, but he's not a dick about it. He just says, "Hey, you should be doing this or try this," and he gets along with everybody. But I think that's by far my number one pick. But Stealth Luca is definitely right there behind him.
Ability. Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think, man? You played with the guy all last year. Is he your number one?
Man, I mean, I'm looking at numbers. So, I mean, I like DMart. I think that, I agree with you too. First year in the league, getting to play with him and Marty, that was fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better team. I mean, you can't. I had a great time, and he is fantastic. I watch him move the puck around all season. I'm not denying how good they are, that's for sure. But I don't think I'd take him number one. Number one, I mean, without Brick City being on the draft board, I've got Stealth Luca sitting at number two. So I think that I've got to agree with Pale on this. That would probably be my first pick.
And I kind of said it in my write-up of Dan. I do think that he is the best player in the draft, but because of the position he played, I wouldn't be shocked to see him drop. I don't know the exact wording that I used, but Luca, for what center is that position, man? Like, it's such a premium position. Playing both ends of the ice, and I think there's a lot of good two-way centers. And when we say two-way centers, I mean good at offense, good at defense, the whole thing. Positionally great, helping the defensive zone, the whole so on and so forth. But yes, Stealth Luca D, who is the next guy on my list, who I did have number two. Next guy on my list, he plays not just a two-way game, but holy crap, he knows how to score. A change of scenery, and guys, sometimes that's all it takes for a guy to really get going. A change of scenery, man. He ends up on the Justice League team, and they just start tearing shit up. Pale, I know you said that Luca would be your number one. What are some of the reasons or some of the things that make him, great, really?
Well, I mean, you look at the way he plays. You can just look at the stats if you want to see an indicator. I mean, the guy had almost 60 assists. He's a guy that's going to elevate his teammates. He's defensively responsible. He's good on the dot. I mean, he's just the total package as far as the center that you want. I mean, I think center is the most important position on the ice. You need a guy that can hold his own defensively as well as score. If you got a center that's good at one but not at both, I think you're in a hole already. I think that's, again, not to say that drafting DMart in the first overall would be a bad thing, because the guy is obviously great as well, and I think he can put up numbers just as well as anybody else out there. But I think end of the day, positionally, a center is more important, and I think center is the key cog in an offense, as well as on D. They got to be able to support the D as well as they support their own offense. So I think that's the most important position on the ice. That's why he'd be my number one.
And Agent, I know that, these guys both said Stealth Luca 1. You kind of agreed with me. Is Stealth Luca your number 2? List there that you would take 2.
They're both right there. Honestly, him and D-Mart are both really, really great players in their own positions. I haven't seen D-Mart or Luca step away from those positions. So at their own positions, they're both number 1. Other than that, it really depends upon your needs. Myself, I play center more than anything, so I would take D-Mart over Luca. Whereas, say, the next person, they might value Luca better. It really comes down to personal opinion. I think, honestly, they're both super good. They both know the game. Their IQ is very high for the game and knowing what to do. So I'm kind of torn between the two, and I picked D-Mart over Luca just because of what I see and what I would need on my team going forward.
Well, you bring up a really good point, and you're talking about, captains and what positions they play. I think that's a really good point because, like you said, you're a center, so why would you take Luca? It doesn't make sense, right? I'm in the mindset of I'm looking at this draft pool, and I'm seeing how deep center actually is. I see 7 or 8 centers that I would not mind having on my team. And we'll talk about some of these guys, but you got Stealth Luca D, you got BCO, you got Shoe Therapy, you got Desire Customs. Like, I could keep going and going and going. So does that hurt? I'm asking you, Billy, does that hurt a guy's value when you take a look and see how deep a position truly is?
No, not at all, because the truth of the matter is some people play that position better than others. And that's what scouting's for. So during this next week, before we get this thing kicked off, there's going to be some scouting games, and we're going to get to see are people playing up to the expectations. Luca, 28 assists backed up by 59. I'm sorry, 28 goals backed up by 59 assists. Holy shit. You got to take him. Number one, that's why I would take him. He's getting the puck moving to the right hands at the right time. So, but no, man. Some people play center better than others.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. And like I said, we all value players differently. We all value people differently. So it's really tough. The way that myself or Pill evaluates a player, that's what makes this league great, man. It's like Joe Stowe went in round 4 or whatever it was. Like, all the people who passed on Joe Stowe, and the guy had a great year, so you have to look at things like that, say, where are we valuing these players? So I think that's a great point. Not everybody plays it great, but yeah, no, it's interesting to see how that works out. So great point, ability, man. Great point. Moving on, this fucking guy. Oh, Jesus. All right, hold on. I got to sit up for this one, man. He's been a captain the last couple of years.
Oh, gross.
And now he's in the draft. And he's telling everybody that he's a 3rd rounder. No, 4th rounder. And that's sober enough. Guess what, man? You don't finish top 5 in point twice and aren't expected to carry a team. And that's what's going to happen for Sober this year. He's a top 5 pick. His biggest strength, in my opinion, his forecheck and his hitting ability. You'll hear him blow himself all the time about how he hits and does all these things. And he really is good at everything he says he is. But with that, and you could be drafted 1st overall to Legion, and you are expected to make the playoffs. That's just how it works. Sober is going to have those expectations this year. What do you think, Agent? I got Sober here. He's my number 3 player. Again, and all these numbers are based off my own opinions. The guys didn't collaborate with me on these. But what do you think about Sober? Do you value him in the top 5 pick, or am I stretching here?
He's right there. He played really, really great when I played against him in the series. He dominated us in our first series against him, but I didn't have my full squad, so I didn't have a fair assessment, I guess, as the way I would conclude it. But, the dude's really good. He's surrounded by some good forwards. That always helps. I don't know if I take him in the 3 spot with Dom Silva, Shoe Therapy around. That's my personal opinion. He can score when he wants. He can create his own opportunities. So he is an elite forward. There's no doubt about that. But that's my opinion. How about yourself, Bill?
The guy forechecks like a motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, he can score, and he can do everything that you want out of a wing to do. He showed that he can play a little bit of left and right wing, so he's a little flexible there. I think he still much prefers the left side, but yeah, I think I agree with Daly on this one. I think Sober's the right pick in this spot. As the pool stands right now. The guy won MVP a season ago. he had another great season this year. There's not much more that you can say about him. He leads the league in hits and points and goals and everything else 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago, and he's right back at it again. So Sober at number 3 makes sense.
What do you think of Bill? Yeah, I was gonna say, you may or may not know the name, but what do you think about Sober at 3?
Know the name. I just got done winning a championship somewhere else with this guy. I mean, heck yeah. No, left wing's where he plays. He crushes people. I montaged a few of those hits. 3? Oof. Oh, man. Giving him a lot of props there. But I'd say, I saw a comment earlier, how come sober always sounds not so sober? And that's, I question that too. But I think 3, why not? He's great.
Yeah, I actually think that was me who said that. If you guys if you guys haven't listened to the Sober Elitist, man, the guy sounds hammered. And I believe
smokes when the show starts. And
I mean, it would only be appropriate. I could ask Esso, but why do I want to talk to Esso? So I just leave it alone. Does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just leave it alone. So moving on, this name I think is going to kind of surprise some people. That's Dominator Silva. Okay. So for a long time, Dominator Silva was my ultimate Swiss Army knife. There's very few players in this game that are good at every position they play. They're good at every position. You're good at center, good at wing, good at D, good at goalie, right? There's guys who are great at one position, D, Mart, Luca, and can't play others or whatever. Dominator Silva was good at every position, but he took a step as a forward, and I think he is a great forward. He makes my top 5. I think a lot of people will shy away from him this early. I think realistically, he'll probably get drafted at the end of the first round. This guy was a 2nd and 3rd round pick as a part-timer. So I'm not the only one who feels this way. You would have to assume in a full-time format, which he is now full-time, that he is going to be going in the first round, and I've got him in my top 5. He makes everybody around him better. He doesn't make bad plays. This is my opinion, obviously, not anybody else's, but I'll go to you, Ability. You may not even know the name because he was a part-time player for, I believe, he was on Wonder Shows in this year. Is that right? Yeah, he was a part-timer on Wonder Shows. Do you know anything about the name? Do you know anything about Dominator?
I don't, and I haven't got a chance to play with him. I believe against him, but I don't know, man. I don't have anything to go off of here. I can tell you my number 5. I had Edge. I'm skipping a few players in between there.
You're good.
No, from what I've heard, I've seen the name fly around the chat a little bit, and everyone seems to give him props.
Well, what do you think, Pale? Dominator Silva, I know you saw him in the Wonder. Didn't you guys play Wonder Shows a couple times right before the playoffs or something like that? Wasn't that you guys?
Yeah, we played it. They were our last game, our last series of the season before the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, Dom Silva can play everything. He's obviously a good forward. He's obviously talented. I mean, I could see him going this early. I don't know whether that sticks. He might fall just because people haven't really seen him play a full season here. I don't know. I think he is probably a mid-first round pick, maybe a little bit later. But yeah, he's definitely a legitimate forward in this league, and he's a guy that can really help a team. He's a guy that you can surround an offense around, and he can run it. So I think that's credit to him, and I think that's what you need in the first round. What do you think of Agent?
I like I said, I touched on it. I think Dom and Sober and Chu are all right there with each other. Dom's a great guy. You bring him in, especially playing part-time, he can change a series. He can help you win a series really easy compared to not having him. He's a sorely missed person if he wouldn't be there. I've heard people say he's overrated, and I don't think that's true at all. I think that's a terrible assessment, to be honest. The dude can play anywhere, and he plays really well. I mean, that's the way I put it. How about yourself, Dales? You want to move on to the next one?
Well, I do want to mention Dom Silva was on the draft show earlier in season 3, and he's the only one that called out my team as a cup contender. So I want to give him props for that. His draft analysis is obviously on point. So,
well, you got he's gonna give him his due. Hey, no, it's
Swiss
okay.
Army knife. He's good at everything.
Listen, man, give the guy his due. If he did the bit, you gotta give him his keep. So I love it. Yeah, because my analysis was fucking shit.
Yeah, it was. It was terrible.
All right, Relax, man. Season 4 is coming, man, and another one's coming too. So I'm sure there'll be so much vagina blood all over my screen after I write it again. Moving on, man. Chew Therapy. This is actually a good buddy of mine. This guy was at my freaking wedding, for Christ's sakes. I said he was the glue that held Jello Time together, and I truly meant that. You know, he plays such a two-way game. You're never going to see this guy atop the stat sheet. And Luka, yeah, Luka plays center too, and he's up there in the stat. But Chew plays a completely different game. That's why Jello Time worked. That's why we had such a good. And this is season 2. I'm referencing. He's back. He's full time. No restrictions. No nothing. Easily a top 5 pick. He would have been a top 5 pick last year had it not been for a work mishap that unfortunately was just like a smidge too late, or he would have been playing last year. But again, with that being said, man, that's why Luka at 1 for me isn't necessary, because you look down this list and a couple picks later, you can get a guy like Chew Therapy. I don't think you're going to see much preseason trading because of how deep this pool actually looks. This is probably one of the deeper draft pools. When I did the first 20 picks, I was shocked. This is one of the deeper draft pools that we've had thus far. I'll send it over. Billy probably doesn't know a lot about Chew, but I think that Pale does. So I'll send it to Pale. What do you think about Chew going top 5 here? Does this make sense?
He's a great defensive center, and obviously, like I said, I was blowing the center position earlier. I think it's the most important position on the ice. And look, the guy's good at what he does, and he's a great dude to have in a party too. You know, he's a fun guy to have at a party. He's a good player, and he's a good guy. So Chew, I think, is definitely a first round pick. He's definitely probably in the top 5, I think. You know, maybe he slips. People always have their different preferences and stuff, but yeah, I think Chew is a good guy, and he deserves to be there.
What do you think? What do you think, Agent? Sorry.
Honestly, he is top defensive center in the draft, without a doubt. He's the best at it. He can always cover the slot, and he's always keeping his eyes out. He seems like he can see the puck without actually watching it. You know, he's watching the other guys on the ice and does a super good job at it, better than anybody else I've seen. And he's always in the right position to either be defensive or for an outlet for the defenseman. I think that's something that's kind of overlooked a lot of times too, is someone that's always there to help with that pass for the defenseman. A lot of times that forecheck, I'll mention Sober and Esso and the crew there. That forecheck was an onslaught. Same with Han shot first. And when you got a crew that does that to you, you have to have a center that hangs back, maybe even a little extra to make a pass work. And he's the guy that can do that for you.
Yeah, again, like I said, I mean, he's the truth, and I think, you know, like I said, it seems like we're all on the same page with that. Moving forward, no cause. I was informed today, after I did all that I messed up. I did. No cause is actually playing part-time this year. So obviously, I messed that up. I didn't miss that. I still mean everything I said. He's still a great player, but obviously he will not go basically not being able to play at all. So I don't want to say like we're gonna skip him, but like
I'm saying he's there. Let's just assess he's a full-time player. Let's just assess it. Take a quickie. How would yourself feel?
Okay, if he's a player. Well, no. Think about it like this. We talked last year, Agent. You asked me when you got the 2 first-round picks, what would you get? Who would you take here? And I said, man, you cannot go wrong with No Cause Renegade. He's going to be the rock on your D. How was No Cause Renegade last year?
Rock on the D, dude.
Oh, he was a rock on.
Silent assassin, man. He does not go for hits. Does not go for hits, but when he does, dude, he fucking clobbers people, and it's hilarious to watch because nobody expects it. He might have won a game, but it's just funny because he never goes for him, and then all of a sudden it's just a huge hit. And he's always in position. I mean, if he thinks his team is starting to suck forward and wanting to score a goal bad, and the dude's not even in the zone, he's already sitting at center ice waiting for the outlet because he knows what's about to happen and prevent a breakaway. The dude, he doesn't need to talk. He's always in position, and he knows what he's doing. He knows where to play and where to pass. And he's my top pick for a D-man if he was full-time every season I draft.
All right. Well, we're not gonna blow him any harder, but yes, that he's awesome, man, and he's been doing it for so long. He's been so good. So Shout out to him, man. I wish he was full time, but unfortunately not. Next on the list, we got Moose. So with Zed being, or Zaid, Zed, I always fuck his name up, so I'll just call him No Cause. With that being said, moving along, this makes Moose my number one lefty on this list. He is basically Zed 2.0, but he gives you a little bit more offensively. You know, No Cause won't carry the zone as much. He being the best that he can be at D. Moose, on the other hand, he gives you another look. He's great defensively. His one-on-one game is probably the best in all of 239. But he gives you a little bit more offensively. I love him here. He will be a top 10 pick. There's no doubt about that. What do you think ability about Moose? I know you're newer, but so is he. Do you recall playing him at all this year?
Well, I got to play with him in a different league, and I can tell you, like, this is my first year playing in league hockey, right? So I've only been around NHL, started in 2016. My first league ever, I get thrown on a team with Moose, and I don't know the guy, right? So I'm playing opposite, right D, and I mean, I'm getting it handed to me. It's the first few games, the first season, right? And I don't think he realized that I was a fresh one. I know that the game ended, the party ended, he took off. He was the first one out of there. So I can tell you that he plays the position really well. I didn't play the position very well, but he plays it fantastic.
The only reason this makes it that much funnier is because I know Moose, and everything he's saying is 100% true.
I'm just happy you didn't report me to Xbox. Okay.
It was that bad, huh? Oh man, I love a good story. Kale, what do you think, man? I mean, Moose was kind of holding it down for Blazing Saddles. McGill was playing his off D. That was kind of a rough go, but what do you think about Moose, man? You got him in your top 10?
Yeah, he's a really good defenseman. He deserves to be there. He's one of the better defensemen in the draft. He's got nothing wrong with his game. He plays everything well. He plays that left hand or right hand D on the left side, and you know he's just there for everything offensively. He's great defensively. Yeah, he definitely deserves to be top 10. He's a game changer. What you think, Agent?
Who's Moose, dude? I don't mean that like a dick.
He was
move,
on Blazing Saddles. He was on McGill's team.
I did not know the dude well enough to have a.
His captain went to the fucking finals, and I didn't make the playoffs, and he doesn't know who Moose is.
Didn't make enough of effect. Sorry. Next.
All right, man. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. But Moose, I'm like literally at a loss of words right now. But here's the thing about Moose, man. He's the real deal. He is a good guy. He's super competitive, man. He's just got that fight in him, and I love playing with the guy. I think he is, with No Cause a situation, he is your number one lefty in the draft this year. So he'll be drafted that way. And last year, No Cause was number one lefty. He went 6 overall to Agent. So I don't think that there's any reason that won't happen again. You're going to see Moose going round 1 here. Moving along, this is abilities guy. He brought this guy up. Man, is Edge. And in my write-up, I had to give the guy a due. First of all, phenomenal dude. Great dude. I got the pleasure. There's so many guys in this league, and I'm, as most of you know, am never online unless it's for league games, basically. But I got a chance to play with this guy the other night, a couple weeks ago, and first of all, he's a stand-up dude. Awesome guy. Secondly, in talking to him, I remember seeing glimpses of like, man, he's a really good defenseman, man. He's there. He's little things here and there, but I'm like, man, that's his natural position, right? So we're in the party the other night. He's like, no, man, I'm a forward. I'm like, oh, so you're not a D man. So you're just good at D, but you're probably great at forward. And that's 100% what happened. So I am literally not shocked by the season at all. He went in round 5 last year. That's disgusting. Like absolutely ridiculous. But that was his coming out party, man. And I would not be shocked to see him go. He could go in the top 5. I don't think ability's wrong. I really don't. I could see him going top 5. I don't know. You got him in top 5. I had him at 8 here. That Edge truly is the real deal. And do you think that he can carry an offense? All right. Ability's not. Oh, there he is. Okay.
No, we're good, man. I mean, 37 goals, 30 assists. I mean, what more do you want here? Top 5, he was statistically a top 5 player from season 3. if we're going to take stats and throw him into this, he is number 5. That's where he comes in at on my list. And I could have fudged a number or two. But, I mean, that's just excellent. And I look at the players that he's surrounded with. He was playing with Dominator Silva, BCO. I mean, I don't know. What he did here looks fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised if he went top 5 at all. I had him in the 5th spot.
Well, what do you think, pal?
Edge is an awesome dude. I was just playing Halo with him yesterday. That's the first time that I, had him in a party and stuff like that, talking to him. He's a Philly guy, or from the same fucking South Jersey area as everybody else in this damn league. He's a cool guy, man. He had a great season. He definitely deserves the recognition to be up there in the first round. We'll see if he goes there or not. I think there's probably going to be a run on centers in the first round. I think that's just how it's going to work out because everybody's going to want one of those premium guys. But yeah, he's definitely a guy that can carry an offense, and he showed that on Yam's team last season. And they made the playoffs, and I had him picked to go another round. They almost did. Edge is a good guy, and he's definitely going to be a forward from here on out in this league, I think. What do you think, Agent?
I mean, like Ability said, you look at the stats, the dude's right there, he's top 5, but you look at the stats and you don't see Notorious Figo on top 5 draft. I mean, you can't look just at those numbers. And the guy also took, let me check. Oh, sorry, Cosmic had beat. I thought he took the most shots in the league, but no, Cosmic, of course, beat him on that one. That's no surprise. So, I mean, you look at stats, the dude obviously played really well, but he had some good guys surrounding him, so that always helps. Yeah, Dom was part-time, but those things really do help, and those help put numbers on anybody. I mean, there's guys up on the leaderboard, I have no clue who they are, but I know they had some solid players on their team, and a lot of those stats might have come from not even their ability at all,
Yeah, and I'll add a variable because I'm a big numbers guy too, and I like what Ability's doing here, and I like that he's throwing this all out. The big thing I like to look for is longevity. I mean, you see so many flash in the pan guys who will come in, and I'll give you an example. Brick City. I mean, he comes in, he has a great year, but now we go to another season. Okay,
separate him from his buddies, and then
he's not playing. Agent is so fucking bitter, but yes, that was the point I was going to make. He's not playing with Figo anymore. He's not playing, with Pale anymore. And I know Pale is a net, but now you add a different variable. Take Esoteric. Anytime I get a chance to do this, I do.
Get that out of here.
Esoteric, season 2 was 4th in scoring, playing on Jello Time. And then last season, he got kind of a dud. So you look at these guys, and you have to start to think longevity. How many years has he done it? To me, D-Mart, Stealth Luca D, these guys are guys that have been doing it forever. Sober, the jury was not out on Sober. Okay, jury had that one good year, and I was like, wait a minute, I remember Sober the 4th rounder, but he's taken his game to another level, and now he's legitimate. He's a legitimate top 5 pick because he did it more than one season. He's done it for a couple seasons. So I agree with Agent. Numbers are great. I love looking at them too. And Agent said, the numbers don't tell everything, but I'm looking for longevity. How long have they been doing it, and how long have they been the top of their craft? What's up, Pale?
So one thing real quick, what's it called? I think it's a compliment to a player that he can play with talented players as well. If you can be a great complementary player that can, feed off of what your line mates are doing, I think that that's something that's valuable. I mean, some guys, they just don't know how to play without the puck. So you can put these two guys together that just can't mesh with each other because they can't play without the puck. So I think, you have to determine when you're looking at these guys in their offense from the last season, who's running the offense, who's making the plays, who's doing what, carrying the puck into the zone, making the first pass that makes the play. And I think it's also important to recognize the guys that are also finishing those plays, because without them, your offense is stagnant. If you don't have guys that can finish, if you don't have guys that can play off the puck, then your offense just isn't going to work because you got too many cooks in the kitchen, kind of. So I mean, I don't know whether Edge is a guy that can carry an offense versus and make things happen on his own, or whether he's a guy that can finish and be there away from the puck. But both are important, and you really need to weigh that while you're picking guys. That's one of the harder things as a captain, I think, in the draft, is making sure that you've got chemistry between the lines that you have. But I think it is a credit to guys like Edge, guys like Joe Stowe, for example, that can just make a line work just because they're there and they know how to play off the puck.
And that's a great point, because I think one of the hard, and I've said this in previous shows, I think one of the hardest things to do is play without the puck. I think that guys get lost and they don't know where to go. It shows, man. Like if you're watching a game, it shows where it's like, oh shit, they've moved that puck below the goal line. Like, where do I go? Is he looking for the open ice? Is he getting himself in the shooting spot? Is he trying to, be the outlet for that guy? Some people get lost, man, and I think that's a really good point that maybe doesn't get enough attention.
That might have been why Moose left the party so quickly, right there. That could have been it.
Oh my God, it's just fun. Oh God, I love Moose. Shout out to Moose, man. I love Moose, but I know exactly what ability is speaking on right now. I know it exactly. So, but Pale, great freaking point, man. And yeah, so we'll see how it is. I like Edge. He's in my top 10, but we'll see if he can sustain it. Give me another year of that. Now you're talking legitimate. So moving on, everybody's favorite Martin. Wait, well, according to this, he's not technically my favorite Martin, but I still love him. I still love Marty McFly. And I have to do this just because I do this every year. Marty McFly, to me, is a phenomenal defenseman, and everyone tells me to fuck off, and Marty's a center. I don't care what any of you say. I like Marty McFly on D. I would love to play a season with Marty McFly on D. It'll never happen unless Marty signs up defense only. Not saying for you too, Marty. Yeah, I'm not trying to drape. I swear to God. But that's the only way that we'll get to play defense together. So I'll say, man, two-way centerman. Again, not going to light up the score sheet because he's so responsible in his position. To me, he's probably the best face-off guy. I see him reverse grips and do all that crazy shit that I don't know anything about. But he does it better than pretty much anyone. I'd throw Brick City up there, but he's not in the draft, so he gets no due. Thank you very much. With that being said, ability, you got to play a whole year with Marty. What do you think of his game? Do you like the way he plays? Is he a top 10 pick? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. Him and D-Mart, they're going to probably end up going to separate teams, I would imagine, this year. Both of those guys are going to mesh with whomever they play with because they have this ability. It's uncanny. I listen to them break it down. They play with a new guy. They can basically figure him out within 5 minutes, know or predict where he's going to be, and they dish the puck around like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's something special. Those two know hockey. Their IQ, you mentioned it, it's something special. I mean, I don't know half of what they know. But Marty's fantastic, man. I don't think his stats from last season really reflect how good he is. I think they would have been higher. They could have been higher. But, no, he's fantastic. I don't know, man. He's a top 5 player, too. That's tough. I don't know.
What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, I think Marty's a top 5 pick. You got Chu, you got Stealth Luca. I think Marty's that third center on the list right now that, really is going to be guys that are trying to acquire in the draft early on for the captains. Marty's great. He plays so responsibly as a defenseman or as a forward, as a center. The Halifax series that we just played against them was nuts because they would go up 1 goal and you just could not get in the zone between the D and Marty, and it was just crazy. Marty's a great player. I got to play with him 2 seasons ago. He deserves all the respect that he gets. He's a great guy, and he definitely, I think he's a top 5 pick in my book. What do you think, Agent?
I like playing with Marty, dude. I got a chance to play with him for a little while, and the one time I might actually agree with Dale's, the dude's a defenseman. He is through and through. Playing center, he can play the two-way game for sure. In the dot, you said he's the best center you've seen in the dot, and I don't agree with you on that. Honestly, I played center all season long, and I've played Marty at the center position as well, and I've seen better just this season, maybe over longevity. And I'm not saying he's bad at the dot by any means. That's not my mentality at it. But the dude's a defenseman. He plays really well on the defensive end, and he can hold his own. But he can play all around. You know, who we touch on Dom on being a little well-rounded, be able to play everywhere. I've seen Marty play pretty much everywhere on the ice except goalie, and he's always good. He's always in the right position, and he knows what he's doing. His NHL IQ is top-notch right there with Dan, and he knows what to do. I mean, he knows where people are going to be and know where to pass the puck, and he's a great dude to have in a party as well. So he's definitely a top 10, top 5 pick.
Dank would disagree with you on that, but yeah, he's fantastic.
Are you saying that he's not going to go to Dank in the first round?
Oh, man, I can promise you, and unless it's a joke, I can promise you that doesn't happen.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Is Dank is he young? Is he younger? Or younger?
Yeah, he's like 20 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he is a young guy. Okay, cool. That's so funny with the ability with the comedic relief all night. So thank you for that. Yeah, man. Like I said, I like Marty. I know everybody's got him pegged to the center. I would just love for him to play one season at D. I would just like to see it. That's just because I would like to play with him. But yeah, man, he's a great. I said in here. I could see him going top 5 as well. That was the last sentence in my write-up. But I got him up at number 9 as a centerman. And we're going to close the show with pick number 10. I did 2 drafts, like the top 20, but I split it up. This guy just cracked my top 10, man, and that's Mick Swagger. People are going to have their opinions on the guy. He already made a comment that Tomahawk thinks he's full of himself and all that stuff. It really didn't take long. Here's the thing here's why Mick Swagger made my top pick. I was super impressed with him on a sober elitist. That actually has nothing to do with why he made my top. A really interesting listen. I actually enjoyed the hell out of it. So shout out to those guys. They do great work every Friday night, sober elitist. Secondly, I got to watch part of that MOTU series that they had. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, MOTU. Mm-hmm. And he was making everybody around him better. And when I am trying to draft a top 10 guy, that guy has to change the game like that. He has to make everybody around him better. And I really think that he's come a long way. Sober said drunkly 9,000,000 times. Well, it wasn't in that series. And he also, to be fair to Sober, he did say that. I thought Mick Swagger had a great series. Thought he was a big reason that you guys won that series. So he cracked my top 10, man. I'll send it to you, pal. This one's probably up in the air, but top 10 pick Mick Swagger now, or?
Yeah, I think he probably is. First off, we've got like 6 or 7 new captains in the league. So they don't have any preconceived notions against them other than what people have said. And if you're not on the forums and posting stuff like that, you're really not seeing any of that. What you're seeing is Mick Swagger on the ice scoring goals and making pretty plays and kicking my ass in the playoffs. He had a great series against us. I think he's talented enough to be in the top 10. I think you've got him at number 10 because of people. There's automatically teams that just aren't going to draft him because they don't like his ass. But I think he's a top 10 talent, and I think he probably deserves to be there. He had a great series against us. I got nothing against the guy. I think that he has shown that he can be a player that is contributing towards a cup finals team. He needs to get over the hump and win one eventually, but he's almost there. I think he's a guy that can really contribute towards an offense and really carry an offense if he plays like he did in the finals against us anyway. What do you think, Agent?
I got to play a whole season with the dude. I took a ton of criticism for drafting him 20th or 21st overall, and I think you guys are all fucking crazy as a steal. I mean, let's be honest, the dude's a top forward when he's not being a dipshit LBing people, but you got to do it. It's a fucking game. I mean, some people take that stuff too serious, and in all reality, he's a top forward, and anybody that disagrees is not looking at stats. I mean, let's be honest. If he picks up the defensive end of the game, he's an easy top 10 pick. And if people get over the preconceived, I mean, Swag's a dumbass, he's a douche. You know, if people get over that whole thing, he's an easy top pick. But I don't see it that way. I didn't know him prior to last season, and I don't see it that way. And I think a lot of the new captains are, I mean, go look at the leaderboards and go look at points per game. I mean, that's a stat that people like to see, it, how many games you're actually in and how much you're contributing. And he's up there with the top. You know, he does an awesome job. And in playoffs, MOTU, him and Cosmic, I mean, those two were above and beyond everybody else in that series. Next series was a whole other game, and, you know, that's the way it went. But the dude can play really, really well. It just depends on which side of him shows up, and you hear the broken RT thing over and over, and I think that's over with. I mean, the dude can pass. I've seen it all season long, and people just pick on him because of stuff that's gone on. How about yourself, Ability, looking from not playing with him? What is your thoughts on McSwagger?
My thoughts? Oh, man, I got to see this guy in the first game. I believe I played against him, and he, like, crept near the goalpost, right on that little blue line, and slapped a shot from way behind it and got it in on me. And I said, you know what? And D-Mark told me, he's like, you just got McSwaggered. And I was like, yeah, all right, never again. So never again. But this little LB button right here, if I ever played a skater, that's what I would hit on him every time there was a stoppage of play. He earned it. I mean, the guy played great. 35 goals, 26 assists, 61 points. Statistically, I think he was like number 9 overall. So I think you got him in the right spot. His talent on the game seems to be fantastic, and he's sneaky as all shit.
Those points per game, he's top 5. You mentioned top 5 on the stats, man.
Yeah, I mean, here's the big thing, too. I mean, with McSwagger, it's just understanding what you're going to get to. He does take a lot of penalties. That's another thing. It's part of the game, and then Sober's another guy. So captains in your drafting, you have to take this stuff into consideration. It's the whole package. When it's good, it's really good. But there are certain aspects of the game. I didn't even touch on that. Guys like D-Mart, Stealth, Luca, those guys stay out of the box. They're always on the ice. Your best player is always being on the ice. That's a big thing. You know, Cosmic Fade was the guy who took a ton of penalties last year. McSwagger took a ton of penalties last year. When these players that you're drafting are not on the ice, that hurts your team. So to me, that's a very attribute, a guy who's taking a lot of penalties, and he's supposed to be your guy. I can't help you when he's in the box for 4 or 5 minutes a game. Okay, so something to think about moving forward. But and just like that, guys, like we're like literally out of time. I told you, like, this is usually how it happens. I know it's Ability's first show, but you start talking, then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the show's over, because that's where we're at. So is there anything that you guys want to add before we get out of here, Pale Champ?
Oh God.
You know, yeah. I'm ready to repeat, bro. I'm ready to repeat. We're going again. Hot shot first 2.
Dude, okay, listen, repeat, fine. Do not name your team that. Agent was like so emo when I said that. It was so like
just cringing, dude.
It was absolutely amazing. Ability, man. Anything to add, dude? First show. Anything to add before we get off?
Well, I've had a great time with you guys. I'm happy that that you brought me on. No, I think that heading into season 4 here, it's going to be fantastic. Season 3 was better than I expected my first year in this league. I think the more in depth and the longer the league goes, the more the players get to all know each other. It's fantastic, and the quality too. I mean, the play is fantastic. I got to see D-Mart and Marty McFly tear it up, and I'm assuming that with a lot of these matchups, based on the numbers, there was a lot of similarity going on amongst the other teams. So season 4 is going to be one heck of a show. I don't think there's any chance at a repeat though, Pale.
One thing to hit on too before we finish up. Everybody, talk to your friends. If you don't have any fucking friends, make some. Invite them to the league. We got to get enough people. We want to have 10 teams in the league again. That's when it's fun. You get the most competition going on. You saw the parity this season, and we want to have it again. And having new people is going to make the parity just that much more feasible. So everybody, make sure you're talking to your friends. Invite anybody you know. Tell them it's a good time, and everybody around here is a fun time. So.
Yeah, I know we had 63 signups today. That was before. I know AC signed up. He hasn't been added. Ability signed up earlier today. He hasn't been added. We haven't updated the sheet yet. those signups are still coming in. Again, a lot of leagues don't do a summer season. We do quick turnover. That's what we do. And this last season is basically going to take us into August, most likely. And then it's going to take us pretty much to the new game in September. So I don't like a lot of downtime because I think that, guys kind of lose interest. So we'll do something, man. If we got to do like a world's tournament or something, we have done those in the past. Like even after the off season, I'll get something up right away, man. We could do like just teams of 6. We can, however many people want to do it, man, we'll make it work. But we're always going to be doing something here at 239. So just make sure you guys are checking forums, checking the main posts. Forward to season 4. One last announcement. Next week is draft week. We will be doing our pre-draft analysis on Monday. The draft order will be set. Everything will be ready to go. So we will go from there and do a bit more of a mock once we know who's sitting where. And then as always, Thursday is our draft show. It'll be me. It'll be Agent. It'll be Pale. It'll be whoever wants to show up. Ability. Esoteric, I heard, is going to come on, even though he's a plug. Maybe we'll get Sober on here. Guys, it's going to be awesome. So make sure you stay tuned for all that. With that being said, 239 Media, Ability, Pale, Agent.
Quickie. What? Pale's got a quick one. Interrupt your bitch ass before you sign off.
Oh, okay.
All-Stars. Look out for dates for when we're playing next week. We just need to get that all settled up. If you haven't already done so, submit your availability. We're probably going to pick out the day for when we're going to play the All-Star Series tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
we're just going to get it up.
If you haven't, told us when you're available yet, now's your last chance. We'll try and get that going sometime in the next week or so. It's either going to be played Sunday to Wednesday.
Count me in for live commentary. I want to talk some smack.
Oh, man. He is so emo with you.
No, not to you. I'm talking the All-Star game.
Salty.
Oh, okay.
Not to him, not to him.
Yeah, let me know when this All-Star game is so I can Tanya Harding Pale and take over that position in goal.
Amazing, guys. All right, so, hey, we're signing out. We're over time. 239. We love you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.